Okay, we are recording. Yo, 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 what is good, everybody? It is the godfather of VR and gaming, the ageless wonder, the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with a little bit of maybe a rant video, if you want to call it that. Um, so, you can see by the title here, this is a title I took from an article at GameStop, and it appears that this article speaks about a Gears 5 player who was banned for nearly 2 years for quitting ranked matches. And I wanted to talk about this because I find it to be a bunch of bullshit and some lies. You know, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, the coalition, tweeted out sending threats to people that um, people would get banned from anywhere from a month to a year for quitting matches, and basically, stuck their chest out and said, "You've been warned." And I even responded to that tweet and said it's just empty threats, that they'll walk that shit back as soon as they feel the sting of canceled subscriptions, uh, low sales, and low user engagements. So I think that this particular situation where somebody supposedly got banned for about 2 years, I think it's a lie. Um, I think I think it was some shit that could have been orchestrated by the coalition to try to put a scare into gamers. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up this article on my phone, and I'm gonna read the entire article, and I may stop at certain points, to give my take on something that I find very damning. So let me change glasses here to the reading glasses. So let's start with the title that you see right here. It says Gears 5. One player has been banned for nearly 2 years in the wake of new quitter penalties. Right there below, it says stick it out. That already is a big red flag right there by this Eddie McCooch or McCutch, whoever it is that wrote this article. He's saying stick it out. That's already a big red flag right there. Because you would think that um, that somebody writing an article like this would take one of two stances. One would be a neutral stand and just report the information. The other one, you would think he would say something to the effect of this being anti-consumer. But the way he starts out saying stick it out already tells you right there that he is on the side of the coalition, which to me may further prove that this whole shit is a farce and just orchestrated by the coalition, which I think ultimately points back to Microsoft. So let me read this entire article. So bear with me on this, but I think I need to read this entire article to help make my point. So starting off, it says, in an effort to improve the overall player experience and cut back on early quitters, Gears 5 developer The Coalition has rolled out a new penalty system for people who leave a multiplayer match well before it's over. Gears of War communications boss Dana Sissons announced that the penalty system went live October 9th. The repercussions were swift for one player who found themselves banned for nearly 2 years for repeated quitting, but more on that later, it says in parentheses. You've been warned, Sisson says regarding the new quitting penalties, which only apply to ranked matches. In another tweet, Sisson said, "We can all agree that quitters ruin the game for everyone. So this is just the first step down that path." Okay, Let me stop right there. Was she? This is the coalition boss. Her name is Dana Sissons. She says we can all agree that quitters ruin the game for everyone. Now, don't you think that if you feel that strongly that quitters ruin the experience for everyone, and you feel the need to put in that harsh of a penalty, don't you think you would do that with Gears 4 as well? Because quitting is probably just as rampant on Gears 4 as it is Gears 5. Now, I do believe with Gears 4 that if you quit a ranked match for whatever reason, I think you do get suspended for about 15 minutes. Whatever, which I think is still ridiculous because if I pay for 100% of the game, I expect to have access to 100% of the game. I won't even tolerate the options menu being banned. So I think that's the first critical piece of information right there. That if you felt that strongly about giving everybody a good experience, it seems like you would want to give people playing Gears 4 that same experience because you're still monetizing the game. You still have microtransactions there. The game still has an active user base. People still play that game. So if you feel that strongly about it, why wouldn't you implement something like this on Gears 4 as well? Is Gears 5. So I think that's the first piece of bullshit that sticks out to me in this article. Give me a second so I can clean my glasses and move on to the next bit. I got, I don't know, I might be coming down with a cold or something. My nose is a little bit runny, so excuse the sniffles. Okay. Moving on. The coalition said in its own tweet that the ban periods for quitters will depend on prior behavior. The worst offenders may face bans of a year or longer. See here, quitters have been receiving month to year-long suspensions for prior behavior. This is how long you can be suspended for being a rampant quitter, the studio said. Take heed. This is still the studio talking. Take heed. Over the next few hours, impacted users will be unsuspended, but one quit away from suspension. You've been warned. This is the studio talking. So let's move on. This is some have called out the coalition for being too harsh with its penalty system for quitters. Any number of things can require a person to leave their console or PC and address something happening in the real world. Or a player's internet connection may drop for any number of different reasons that aren't related to intentionally quitting. Thankfully, then, Gears 5 multiplayer allows players who drop a connection to rejoin. What the fuck do you mean, thankfully? That is some more shit of the writer siding with the coalition and to me being a part of this entire charade. Talking about thankfully, this shouldn't even come into play because this is anti-consumer like a motherfucker. What the fuck do you mean thankfully? Are you kidding me? He's basically saying that play the game, tough it out. If you lose connection, stay there because their network should allow you to rejoin. And if you're getting your ass kicked, what are you doing? What are you going to do? Wait, let's say you in a match and you're getting your ass kicked and then you lose connection. So what are you going to do? You're going to wait for the network to put you back into a game that you're losing so you can sit there and tough the shit out so you don't get banned? Get the fuck out of here. All right, so let me start from that paragraph again. Thankfully, then, Gears 5 multiplayer allows players who drop a connection to rejoin. Additionally, Gears 5 has a behind-the-scenes system that allows players to work off the strikes against their account in the case of one-time quitting. The fuck, you got a makeup system for somebody who gets for one-time quitting? So it's almost like they saying that if you quit once, you can, right here in the case of one-time quitting. So they basically saying you can get suspended for the very first time that you quit, but they have a system to let you work the shit off so you can get back in their good graces. Get the fuck out of here. That is ridiculous. Now, so here's the question. So you know what? Let me go on some more before I talk about this, because what I just read and what I'm about to read, what I'm about to read is actually an oxymoron. One Gears 5 player who was reportedly blamed. Let me start over again. One Gears 5 player who was reportedly banned for 640 days. However, the full story is that this person quit 18 of the 21 escalation matches they played in the previous 24 hours. So this dude quit 18 out of 21 matches over a 24-hour period. That shit doesn't make sense. Who the fuck gonna play that many matches and quit like 90% of them? He quit. So let me get this straight. Gears 5 has a system, a makeup system that lets you make up quitting a game for whatever reason for a one-time quit. They're letting you make that up. But this person was able to quit 18 times out of 21 matches over a 24-hour period. How the fuck did he not get suspended the first time? How the hell was he supposedly allowed to quit 18 times before they finally had to take action? But yet, this is telling you right here off the bat that you can make up a one-time quitting. So I'm going to end up going back, having to get some more information. But so first of all, the writer does not criticize the coalition in any way, shape, or form, saying that this is anti-consumer, whether or not it is against the law, whether or not this is too harsh of a penalty. Instead, he's telling you to stick it out, and he's telling you that if you get hit with a one-time quit penalty, that you can make it up. So he's urging people not to quit instead of saying how ridiculous this shit is. So he's on the side of the coalition. So that's bullshit right there. So now, so after reading the article, my thought process was that if this shit was really, really true, why isn't Twitter blowing up? Why isn't Reddit blowing up? So before I go off and point that part out, I needed to go check, Reddit and Twitter. So I remember when they first tried to issue this ban, right? And when I went to the actual tweet, most of the comments against the coalition, people were saying, they were laughing. They were like, yeah, right. Some people had legitimate concerns. They was like, what if my internet drops? Or what if the console crashes for whatever reason? But most of the comments was basically people laughing at the coalition, like yeah, right, this, and I even commented. I had told them that this was empty threats and they're going to walk this shit back as soon as they feel the sting of canceled subscriptions, low sales, and low user engagement. This will still never fly. To me, everybody who's even thinking about trying to force themselves onto the consumer, better look at that Battlefield 5 situation when that guy from EA tried to call consumers, mostly men, uneducated, and dared them not to buy the game if they don't like the fact that a woman is in there. You know, and I know I'm going off the tracks a little bit, but it's the point. The majority of the people that bought that game, the majority of the people that was going to play that game was men. So this got nothing to do, you know, that situation got nothing to do with, you know, whether it's men or not. It's the point that you try to force yourself on on your biggest consumers. So okay, so now the writer of this article, he did put a link in this article supposedly taking you right to the Reddit post where the person complained about the ban. So let me go there. Let me get my glasses on again. Okay, so the person who was supposedly suspended has a username of u/no life degenerate. And the title of his post says suspended for 640 days after quitting. And then he put up a screenshot. Let me see if I can get a close-up of this screenshot before I go any further. It says an error has occurred while matchmaking. Please try again later. You or one of your squad members are currently suspended from matchmaking. Samurai Djinn is suspended. 639 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes remaining. Okay, so... but he got an error message. Anyway, so he also goes on to say, no warning whatsoever. Nice job, assholes. Can't even implement quit penalties without fucking it up. So I'm looking at some of the responses. Let me see. One person says, that's fucking hilarious. How many games did you leave? He says, to leave that many games, you had to have left knowing, I can leave it as it isn't active right now, thus ruining games. The only exception is if you left after somebody already left. But sometimes people disconnect and reconnect. So yeah, to leave that many is just you taking advantage of the no penalty. So, okay. So he pointed out that this bullshit that he got suspended. And this first response is somebody telling him you was taking advantage of the system. So you probably deserve to be suspended instead of like, I would be pissed too if I spent this amount of money for the game. So let me see here. Let's read some more shit. Okay, so this No Life Degenerate also says it wasn't even a tweet from the official fucking Gears account. Just some fuckwit who apparently works there. Yeah, real official. Totally professional way to handle things as usual. I don't get what that was supposed to mean. But somebody responded to him and said that's pretty fucking excessive. How many games have you quit in the past? Maybe it takes that into effect. And then he goes on to edit it and says, I take this back. You claim you quit over 45 games, get fucked. So here's another one telling them this is what you get for quitting that many games. So right here, again, this No Life Degenerate says, no idea. I only played ranked, trying to get the 10 escalation wins. About 1 and 10 was worth staying in. I got 5 wins. Should have been 6, but the servers didn't count one. Total cunts doing a bang up job as usual. Then somebody responded to him and says, good, I'm tired of you leavers anyway. Another person blasting him for leaving. And then after that, another one says, you deserve it. To be honest, you need some sort of mental help if you can't play a game without habitually quitting. What the fuck? If the shit is not enjoyable, why the fuck would you stay in the goddamn match? Okay, so now this No Life Degenerate also goes on to say, I know when to throw in the fucking towel. Escalation takes too fucking long to sit there and lose while scrubby teammates keep trying to hold one ring even though they have no chance. All I wanted was the fucking medal. Blame total cunts for this TOD. Okay, so somebody responded to him by telling him, you're a terrible person. Karma is definitely a bitch. I mean, all these responses that I'm reading is people getting on his case for quitting. Nobody's saying that the shit is harsh. Nobody was saying that it's your money. You're entitled to quit as many times as you want. All of them is jumping on his head for quitting. Here's another one. He says, guess you're not playing the game again. Try again in Gear 6. Maybe don't quit every game you get into, huh? Are you fucking kidding me? So they telling him to accept this fucking penalty, come back when Gear 6 is out. And then maybe by then you'll have learned your lesson about quitting, and then you'll be a much more productive player when Gear 6 come out. Man, what the fuck is going on? Another one says, another one told him good riddance. Another one says bye-bye. Another one says ha 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 later, bitch. Another one says justice has been served. Another one says look on the bright side. When you are no longer suspended, you will come back to a freshly updated game and possible content. And then another person responded and says, well, don't quit ranked games. Even if you are lagging like hell, you can still do something better than straight out abandoning your team. Plant some nades or something. What the fuck? So somebody is telling him if the game is lagging out like a motherfucker, still stick it out. You can still find a way to help your team. Are you fucking kidding me? So now this No Life Degenerate who got suspended goes on to say, fuck spending 45 minutes in a game that's guaranteed loss anyway. Escalation is fucking stupid, and if I lose the first couple rounds, my team is shit, and I'm not making a difference either way. I just wanted the fucking medal done. Oh well. So you mean to tell me that the coalition is telling you that if you get your ass kicked and there's no way you have a chance of winning, that you still have to stick out a 45-minute match? That is fucking crazy. That is fucking bullshit. And like I said, nowhere did the writer say that this is crazy, this is harsh, this is anti-consumer, this is uncoalition-like, nothing like that. He supported them by saying, stick it out. And then when I looked at that Reddit post, most of the responses that I read you were bashing this guy for quitting. No, only I think out of all like the 10 responses that I read, only one of them said that was a really harsh penalty, to be suspended for almost 2 years. So to me, this whole shit is a lie. To me, this whole shit has been orchestrated. I personally think this No Life degenerate who supposedly got suspended may not even be a real person. He may be a person that the coalition planted in there and suspended to make it look like the coalition means business with these suspensions. How in the fuck does somebody quit 18 times over, out of 21 matches? So if these matches are 45 minutes and he quit 18 times, I doubt, first of all, I doubt that he stuck it out 45 minutes. If he did, that means he didn't go to work that fucking day unless he don't have a job. Even if you quit each match after a half an hour, that's still 9 hours of your life that you never gonna get back. And you gotta stick these fucking matches out in order not to get quit, not to get banned. That's some motherfucking bullshit. That is a lie right there. So you tell me how the fuck he was allowed to quit 18 times, but yet the article is telling you that if you catch a one-time quit, that you can make it up. So how the fuck was he able to overstep that one-time quit, that first quit penalty, and allowed to quit 18 times out of 21 matches? To me, if somebody actually existed and he quit 21 times, to me, if he quit 18 times out of 21 matches in 24 hours, to me, that should tell the coalition you probably need to take a look at your fucking game and find out why people quitting like that, if this shit is real. But I don't think it's real. Why do I think they are doing this? I think, ultimately, I think Microsoft is behind this. Gears is Microsoft's flagship game. We know Microsoft don't give NPD numbers. They tried to move the goalposts by trying to measure the success by user engagements, and now they don't even give those numbers out anymore. So that tells you how fucked up interest in their games are. To me, these games aren't selling, and people only fucking with their games, whenever they get these dollar memberships. They play the game for 1 month, whatever the case may be, and then after the 1 month is up, they leave. So to me, obviously they got some fucked up user engagement numbers that they don't reveal those anymore, that only stockholders know about it. And I think that's what this whole shit is about. I think it's about the shareholders. Again, Gears is Microsoft's flagship title. And to me, if you have to put a chart up on the wall and show your investors that nobody's playing your flagship game, to me that might be a red flag to a shareholder to pull his money out of Microsoft stock. So if you want to think that's far-fetched, fine. I'm just throwing a theory out there. But I think that might be what this shit is about, is the shareholders trying to show them that there is user engagement on their flagship title, trying to show the shareholders that people do play this game or whatever. You strong-arming them into playing this bullshit. So in any case, whatever reason that Microsoft and Coalition is doing this, because we haven't heard a peep from Microsoft. So Microsoft must be okay with this. And in this case, I think Microsoft is behind it. I think Microsoft was the one that, told the coalition, find a way to get people to stay in tune with this game. I don't care what you have to do. You know what? No, matter of fact, start banning motherfuckers for quitting. Or at least put that threat out there. I mean, yeah, they might suspend a couple of people for a day, a week, whatever. just to try to make, just to try to make it look like they mean business with this suspension. But for the most part, when those user engagement numbers go down, when those sales go down, when the canceled subscriptions go up, they're going to walk that shit back. So I think they just blowing smoke up everybody's ass, trying to bluff everybody, trying to use a scare tactic. That's just not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. I don't think it's going to fly. And I said it before. I don't give a fuck if I quit. I don't give a fuck if I quit 396 times over a 24-hour period. If I pay for 100% of the game, I expect to have access to 100% of the game. And if I feel like quitting, that is my prerogative. Rainbow Six has these penalties for quitting ranked matches. I think you get suspended for like 15 or 20 minutes. Some shit like that, which I think that is ridiculous too. Even if it does fuck up the ranked experience. Even if it does fuck that shit up. I don't give a fuck. These people paid their money for the game, so if they want to quit, that is their business. But with that being said, I hope this shit falls flat on its face. And I think Microsoft going to have to keep handing out these little funky ass $1 memberships to keep people engaged in that bullshit. So, excuse me. Speaking of which, at the conclusion of this video, I am going to go to my Xbox and make sure that the automatic renew on my Xbox Live membership has been turned off, because once it expires, I'm done. The only reason why I held on to the shit this long was for my son. So, if he wanted to play, Gears multiplayer, but he still likes that game, but not like he used to. First of all, he thinks Gears 4 is a better game than Gears 5. So he plays Gears 4 more than he plays Gears 5. Secondly, he doesn't play flat screen games that much anymore. He spends a lot of his time in VR. I think the way things are going right now, I think my son spends about 60% of his gaming time in VR, because he plays a lot of VR chat, Five Nights at Freddy's, Pavlov, Contractors. And the only flat screen games that he really plays is he'll play Minecraft Java Edition or whatever occasionally. He'll play Roblox occasionally. And he'll play Gears once in a great while. But for the most part, he doesn't really play Gears that much anymore. And I haven't played Gears 5 multiplayer with him. I think the last time I played with him was probably when the game first came out. And that was it. Well, with that being said, that's it for me. Fuck, I dare the coalition to suspend me, because what that would do was solidify that I will wipe my Xbox S clean and put it up for sale on Craigslist. Because as it is, I don't play any games on it. I only use that bullshit for to watch videos, because it's in my bedroom. I only use it for YouTube and Twitch and that kind of shit. I don't play games on that garbage. I definitely got buyer's remorse from that bullshit. But in any case, that's my little rant. I think I shouldn't even say that it's ridiculous, because I think it's a big ass smoke screen. Because I don't think this, what? This ban supposedly went live October 9th. And this article was written yesterday. So don't you think that if the writer was able to quote the studio as well as the studio director on what can get you banned, and they were able to tell you that somebody got banned for 2 years, don't you think that they would say, hey, we've been cracking down, we've been making sure that this hasn't happened, we've suspended an X amount of number of players in an effort to try to, clean up the game, whatever the case may be. They said, oh, like just a bunch of lies. This is just a bunch of bullshit. Um, I said they're gonna end up walking this shit back. Because money talks, BS runs the marathon. You know, let's see how long, this suspension lasts, this so-called ban, suspension, whatever the case you want to call it. Let's see how long this shit lasts when they not getting that reoccurring revenue that they think Gears is supposed to bring in for them. Why the fuck, for somebody who don't have the game, why the fuck would I spend $60 for a game or spend $15 a month on a bullshit ass subscription on the chance that if my Xbox breaks, crashes, I lose my internet connection, somebody kick out the damn Ethernet cord, anything, and I find myself suspended? Why the fuck would I spend $60 on that chance? So I said, just a bunch of bullshit, not gonna fly. So, but when they end up walking this shit back, they not gonna make an announcement. Matter of fact, they not gonna make an announcement. They just gonna leave that threat there, but they never gonna really enforce it as far as I'm concerned. 1 day ban, maybe, couple hours ban, whatever. I mean, hell, I got suspended from voice chat. No, I got suspended from sending messages because I said something less than nice to somebody because somebody team killed me playing Rainbow Six, and I sent a less than nice message to them, and that punk reported me, and I ended up getting suspended for 14 days. As far as sending and receiving messages. So, but a year for quitting the game, fuck out of here with that. Anyway, that's it. So I still got some things to do around the apartment. Maybe I'll play something, I'm not sure. But in any case, I did tweet this article out. So if you follow me on Twitter, you can find it there. But in case you want to see this shit for yourself, I will put a link to this article in the description, and I will also put a link to the Reddit post where this person supposedly got suspended, and you can see for yourself the response that people were making. It seemed like 90% of the responses that people were throwing at this guy was to the effect of, you deserve it, or they were laughing at him. Nobody was saying, none of those responses said anything to the effect that, fuck that, I paid my money, I should be able to play the game any way I want. So that's another thing that tells you that's bullshit right there. To me, all orchestrated by the coalition and Microsoft, probably to try to make these engagement numbers look good to shareholders. So that's what I got. I'm gonna get ready to boogie on out of here. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I will holler at y'all later. Deuces.